Simon. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Mark. How's it going?
Good.
Cool.
I'm very happy that you joined because we should not be doing two entirely separate efforts.
Yeah,
We
no
can be
worries.
publishing separate documents, that's fine, but there should be one understanding of the shared set of goals, I suppose. And
Yep,
um,
absolutely.
so,
Just out of interest, too. So I had a quick look back over some of the comments. I mean, is there presuming there's a link to the current draft? I think you mentioned there was something you're presenting at a summit in Vienna.
yeah, there are. So I'm gonna put everything in all the links in the chat. And we have now a number of documents. I emailed you, you know, links to a couple today where
Okay.
uh, I'm talk about this concept of rats unaware relying parties.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Just
sort of a proof that we really cannot just wave them away. They are in fact a predominant player, turns out. So yeah, there is that. We have a document that's the TWI profile for replica workloads, which is not formatted in the way an IETF draft should be formatted, and this is why we're not
Mhm.
going taking it to the IETF, but it is a TWI, certainly a Consensus Computing Consortium uh, working document. That again, you should just go to our TWI shared folder. So let me actually trustworthy workload identity folder. So let me put that in the chat, and you should be able to see. I'm actually waiting for Michael Richardson and Hank to join, but
Oh,
series TWI shared folder. And then if you go to that and you click on replica workloads, let me start sharing my screen actually. So you're in the UK, right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I see. Cool. Are you close to the folks who are doing research over there? Because they did like
Yeah.
a
So they're based up
Cocoa
in Cambridge. I
framework.
mean, I'm based in London. Those folks are in Cambridge, but yeah, I do a lot of work with Antoine and some of the folks there that have been.
Okay, great. So, okay, so I'm sharing my screen. So you should be able to see um, over here, you'll see a replica workloads folder. And this
Yeah.
TWI profile for replica workloads is the document that we produced that has swim lane diagrams and everything. Now, but it's a constantly evolving thing, so documents will get updated as necessary.
Sure. Yeah, let's. I mean, I'm not particularly precious, but I want to make sure we line up in the same goal as well, right? It's worst thing in the world if we're both producing two entirely different or conflicting sets of documents. So I can
Right.
take it. Make
And
sure
I
we're.
mean, the conflicts can be resolved by a merge, right? Like you have good ideas, we have some ideas, and it would be good to just say, okay, well, here's here are the options.
Mhm.
Uh, the um, we should definitely have an agreement on requirements. So again, if you go to this document, the profile for replica workloads, where I would actually start is skip all the content, go all the way to the end,
Mhm.
and look, not all the way to the end, here, references. And then here we
If you're
have,
sharing, I can't see it for some reason. Oh no, it's over there. Sorry.
yeah, so they are
Pretty
TWA
much.
requirements document.
Yeah.
And that is you know, that there has to be an agreement on at least the requirements that we put in place.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, okay.
Cool. Yeah, Alex,
Anyway,
I'll take some time over the next couple of days to read through these in a bit more
right.
detail.
Also, there is this document I already sent you. Like that's the impossibility of rats unaware relying parties in the standards rats architecture. Like you
Mhm.
cannot have a relying party in the rats architecture that is completely unfazed by the attester being rats compliant, right? So again, um, there are probably no new uh, links in there, but again, you can see why we're trying to do something here for like the rats architecture by itself, unfortunately, is not deployable. that's our view of it. So let's see. So what I've done so far, and I guess so we're now 6 minutes past. We'll still have to wait for Michael and Hank. Those are our key players from IETF land, but for some reason they're always a few minutes late to our meetings. So we have this document that is not in the format suitable for turning it into an RFC. So we'll have to. Google Docs make it a lot easier to collaborate and comment, so that you don't need to do like all of the pull requests and reviews. GitHub UI is not good for authoring content. It's better for make changes to code. But there is a document that was independently authored not long ago by Michael Richardson. So Michael Richardson is active in the IETF land, in the RATS land. So let me again put the link in the content. So this is Michael Richardson's draft. Do not look at the content around it, all the other files in there. They're from our much earlier IETF submission, not relevant here. But this is the document that I have it open here. So he put a bunch of content in there, and I have mixed feelings. Some of it I really like, some of it I feel it could be changed. But I took content out of there that I thought was good, and I started putting it inside this Google Doc, the what I hope is going to become our IETF submission. So what I would like to do today, and again, while we're waiting on others to join, would be very useful is, okay, let me again put the link so you can open it on your own machine. Hank, good to see you.
Yes, sorry. Today is an ITUT workshop, and everything is a conflict. I have like four things at the same time, and this is really bad today.
Oh, well, thank you for taking the time to join us anyway. What I was talking about is Michael Richardson. He has authored some content. The content was not in most ways similar to what we've had in our Google Doc, but it did have some good ideas. I propose that we continue working in Google Doc format because it's much easier to comment and author changes, and like it's just the UI gives you better productivity. But once we agree on the content, we need to then move it back into GitHub. And the other thing I wanted to make clear, I have 3 more of these meetings. So the 9th, the 16th, and the 22nd. And then I'm disappearing. So I'll be off the grid for a bit. And this means that others will need to take this over the line because I'm not coming back until July 5th. And I believe the submission for IETF is something like July 6th, but it's like right there. So we don't miss our window. So we need to move quickly. But fortunately, we have a lot of content and we're close. Yes, Hank.
I will also be gone with the week with the what's the 23rd in it, June.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
TCG week,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Well, hopefully between today and the next 2 meetings, we are going to make significant progress and wrap most of it up. And then we'll just ask one person to put it into GitHub, render it, and hit submit for the ITF. But what I would like to do right now is I took content out of Mike Richardson's draft. I also want to consider, we should talk today about making a nod to the unfortunate reality of bearer tokens, maybe short-lived bearer tokens, which I despise as much as I can, but nevertheless the reality, and this is what is in. So Simon Gallagher, by the way, I would like to introduce to you. He works at Microsoft and also is authoring the Identity Bridge document, which is effectively a variant of trustworthy workload identity that is being done out of the Technical Advisory Council for the CCC. So, my Simon joined us today from London. Okay, I would like to have you folks review the comments and just basically let's go through this together and agree on, or discuss the comments that I made and agree on the changes that I'm proposing or
Quick
disagree.
question. I think
Mhm.
I am on that document now. Looking at that. Oh, shoot. Looking at this hash, but I can't see the comments and I can't edit.
You may need to request.
I did, but only
Okay.
2 minutes ago.
Okay, hold on. Let me. If you did, it's gonna end up in my Gmail, and then I can grant you access.
Yeah, I used the Gmail to request access.
There you go. Yeah. I see it. Okay.
I have way too many Google Mail addresses to this. Also,
No,
do you hear the background noise? Or
there
not?
is none on my end.
Perfect, because I'm listening with awareness to another meeting in parallel.
Okay. You should have your editor access now. Okay.
Your access. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so first I wanted to see that perhaps we want to oh, yeah, I was not thinking clearly. But I wanted to okay.
Also, currently one of the co-chairs of the Trusted AI Agents Working Group, which focuses on the subject matter of this panel. And
what is this background noise?
Oh, that's me probably. Yeah, I was asking if you can hear this. I will just.
I can
reduce.
hear this. Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, okay. So the first comment is we have these ransomware relying parties, but we also that's why I'm saying maybe we should call them RAPs, like rats unaware parties, because really they can be both clients and servers of a tester. So I have a tester. Bear with me for a second. The tester is some workload, and it used to live in this world of no remote attestation. And now we are basically saying, okay, you are now going to use attestation to obtain your credentials. Now, this workload has clients and it has servers. As a result, it's not necessarily a relying party, which is relying party is you normally think of as a server, right? But or maybe we want to call them rats unaware clients and servers. I don't know. But relying parties alone may not be encompassing enough. Or am I over worrying?
I like the symmetry of the unaware and the original. You are correct, though. I mean, it's more, but which work?
So we could use
You can
RACs
take on.
for rats unaware parties, or we can use RACS, racks like rats unaware clients and servers.
No. Client and servers is not a role. These are just, it's a very different layer. No. So it's roles. You take on roles. You can be a relying party and a tester at the same time, and that is fine. It's just layering the rat's nest. And
Rats unaware entities.
why? What's the actual problem?
You're happy with rats unaware relying parties.
Yeah, I
Yes,
am.
because
Yeah, Mark, I am too. I think you're going to confuse the crowd. I think what's interesting, like Hank was saying, is the symmetry, saying there is the relying party, the rights relying party, and then now there's something that we need to chain. The unaware relying party, I think, was the right intuition to begin
Okay,
with.
so rats unaware relying parties, we're keeping it. All right. That testers nevertheless need to interoperate with. So, and then interoperate with, should we say authenticate to? And that's the comment I had from last time. Like I'm just basically saying, because again, we need to figure out all the precise wording for this.
I think that depends on the abstract of RFC 9334, which tells us that, sorry for the, it is often useful for an end of a communication, for one end of a communication to know whether the other end is an intended operating state. So, and this is says interoperate. This document provides actually an overview, conveying everything claims. So it does not It is very abstract. It says it is often useful for one end of a communication to know whether the other end is an intended operating state. So it is obviously dedicatedly vague here. I like interoperate.
Me too.
That means,
Okay.
I think it's more than authenticate, Mark, because in fact, it should be two-way authentication, two-way attestations, and two-way
Okay.
relying parties.
Delete. We're not going to move forward with this. Fine. Then these rats and away relying parties are existing deployed services. And then here I used to say precede rats, and perhaps I think we should say precede attestation capable something, attestation
I agree.
clients and servers. Is that okay? Like, should I change to that wording or some other wording?
I think it's preceding the introduction of the attester, or it's when you, as you said in the beginning, right? It's when you introduce the attestation verification capability that things change.
Okay, so how would I say this? So there are services which precede
the introduction of attestation, for instance.
Okay,
yeah, but
precede
what
the
attestation?
of remote attestation. I specifically want to use remote attestation though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do that. Precede the introduction of remote attestation. Okay, so that's done. All right. The specification extends the RATS architecture to interoperate with the drops. Okay, so by the way, so what Michael did, which I thought was a little bit move in sort of sideways, is he started with this quite verbose paragraph that I thought was not really doing as much of a service, but feel free to review and comment because again, if there is maybe there is more in here that we can pull into our introduction. So now we have our own introduction section, and I wanted to basically, for one, I added a comment here that says explaining that the fact that under RATS, the relying party needs to understand attestation results and the appraisal policy for attestation results. That what was unstated, but I think should be stated, is this requirement is a significant adoption blocker. And by the way, this is kind of a shot across the bow into the identity bridge, Simon, because in there you also introduce claims into the token that have to do that a relying party that existed before attestation was introduced simply wouldn't know what to do with. Right. So in this special interest group, we are very concerned about being able to introduce a remotely attestable entity into the flow with as small a blast radius as possible. Okay, so there I added a paragraph here. So again, I'm seeking a comment on this.
I'm muted, of course. So is a strong can pose significant adoption blockers? I don't know. I'm not a native speaker.
Okay,
but,
may pose a significant adoption blocker.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. So then I added a paragraph that specifically talks about one key requirement for successful deployment of remote attestation capable workloads. So again, here I'm using remote attestation capable workloads, right? Because later we'll also use things like confidential workloads. We should probably, I don't think there is any implication here that it's confidential computing when we're talking about RATs. It's only that it's remotely attested. But the minimal blast radius is what we are worried about. And when the workload is moved from a traditional, and this is where I'm borrowing from Michael Richardson's words in the other doc, but when the workload is moved from a traditional to remotely attestable, so trusted execution environment, including SGX, AMD-SNP, ARM, Trust Zone, that workload can use remote attestation to obtain a stable and trustworthy identifier while its clients and servers do not notice anything different. So again, I invite critique of this.
I just used inclusive language. Traditional is to have slaves. Thereby, we can't use that in the IETF. It's regular or classic.
The what? What did we say?
Traditional. That was traditional. Traditional.
We can't use traditional?
Term. No, you can't.
Since when can't we have a tradition?
Oh, slavery is a good tradition that we don't want. So it was agreed upon by the NIST vocabulary to use other words, and regular or classic are terms.
Well,
that
classic
are
is probably better because there is not like regular
Certain.
a legacy maybe, or is
then there
legacy
are
also bad?
Legacy is great.
legacy.
Legacy
Okay,
like
because legacy
tradition.
is
No, we're
fine.
not to have legacy or tradition. Got it.
Legacy is fine. The legacy
Okay.
is a thing that implies cost, though, right? Like you want to get rid of your legacy typically.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay. To remotely attestable. Okay. That's so. Can we then accept this paragraph and move forward, or is there anything else wrong with it?
It's fine for me.
Okay. Again, keep changes on. Okay. So basically, for saying so now that because we're basically justifying.
Sorry. I'm just finishing it. And a trustworthy identifier. Obtain a stable and trustworthy. This is try, right?
Yes.
This is okay.
This is Michael Richardson's words, by the way. I just pulled them out of here, so you can
Okay.
find. I mean, we can
It's just
change it.
inconsistent. Yeah,
See, they're stable and trustworthy identifiers.
Hey, I get that. Okay, that's fine. Good, thank you.
Yeah, so it's anyway, but this is not TWI. The TWI is our SIGRA in the consortium. This is now the RATS working group
I get that, but we still
with
have
its
the
own
trustworthy workload
lingo.
identity. So we still have that title somewhere. There's some you have to understand how to label it last. So that's the last thing you do. You change the title until you like it.
Okay, so now I'm basically saying for that, I'm just adding something to tie the two paragraphs together. We need minimal blast radius. So for to achieve the minimal blast radius, a mechanism is required by means of which the RATS relying party, and then here I'm adding new words, acting as a credential broker or a key broker. And between Hank, you, and Michael, you used the word credential broker. And I believe that we actually have two modes. We have a credential broker mode and a key broker mode. Credential broker mode gives to the attester the full credential. The key broker mode just gives to the attester a key to unlock the use of a credential that's provided elsewhere. And that's a key difference. So like for replica workloads, you do not issue different credentials to different identical workloads or replica workloads. You just give them the keys to use the same credential.
I think this differentiating that in the 0, 0 is fine. This can be bashed. Is a good point. We should make it. We should not be married to it, but we should make it now.
So can we then keep the new edition?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. So now the RATS relying party, the traditional RATS relying party, acting as credential broker, key broker, provides the intermediation between attestation results in EAT, RC, and all these RATS and relying parties, whose authentication authorization policies may precede the introduction of. I just want to say remotely attestable instead of confidential, because again, we're in the RATS world, remote attestation world, and it's not about confidential computing per se. So I would like to say remotely attestable.
Hey, Hank, is that correct that RATS is not about confidential computing per se? I thought RATS was all about confidential computing.
No. That is about authentic peers. You want to make sure that the peer that you're talking to is, I think, doing exactly what it is intended to and nothing else.
Okay.
Well, so like TPMs, we can use remote attestation, but they're not
TCG,
confidential.
trusted compute in general instead of confidential compute.
Correct.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So for the RATS and relying parties, these adoption barriers are eliminated as these RAPs are capable of authenticating their clients via proof of possession mechanisms. Okay. So the short-lived JOTs, Simon, that are all the rage, and not just in your document, but Google, I believe, also uses them in provisioning of confidential workload credentials. They are not proof of possession mechanisms. So if we want, and this is actually a very, very big decision we need to make today. Do we introduce non-proof of possession, like short-lived bearer tokens into this draft or not? And I could go either way. Like, I could be convinced to go either way. Like, I would like for them to die. I just don't know if I have the power to kill them yet.
I'm voting for the future, so I'm all for killing them, but I understand that there's a legacy world out there that may need them. So
Well, so let's put it this way. If we're talking about rats unaware relying parties and we're saying you will not change when your clients move to remote attestation, and these relying parties are today using short-lived credentials, you have no choice but to do this for them.
yeah, so to be consistent with ourselves, I think we should tolerate the the bearer tokens.
Okay. So I could basically say via proof of possession mechanisms, or like it's like a short-lived bearer token is not a mechanism.
Well,
So
in this case, is this not specifically the authentication mechanism? Because it's saying actually authenticating their clients with, yeah. So anyway, you're trying to qualify what we mean by authenticating. So
Many of us here organize myself.
Simon?
well, we can kill the proof of possession mechanisms at all because, like the following phrase, utilizing credentials such as X59 certificates, whimsy wits, or short-lived jots. Like we could say, so like what we could do is here.
Yeah,
I think I would go with that and drop the proof of possession mechanisms.
Yeah,
chunk.
just delete it, right? If you remove it and you just say utilizing, yeah.
Now we say X59 certificates, short-lived. I mean, technically don't even need to be short-lived.
yeah, of
Like
course, but bearer tokens are
we could just say
bad.
bearer tokens.
Yeah, but that is no. How unappetizing. Bearer tokens are aren't they a cardinal sin in security? To some extent. So
I
I'm not sure.
I despise them, but again, like how do we
Well, if we
how
all
do we
despise them, then let's just not put them in. I mean, the only reason why we would want to put them in is to be consistent with ourselves because we said we don't want to modify the rats unaware relying party. So that's the only reason why we are discussing putting them in.
yeah, so do we keep short-lived jots or do we say how would you phrase them? Bearer tokens, make that explicit.
Well, why wouldn't you just drop the short-lived and just leave it with the jots? Because it's the token life of it is a property of the jot, right? It's not.
Yeah,
You don't have to have a short-lived one. You could potentially have
right.
a long one.
So JSON Web Tokens or whimsy wits. Okay.
And how
This
about
is
cards? How about cards then? If we are that specific, why the CWTs are excluded here?
what is CWTs?
What is it?
Pseudo web tokens.
CBOR web tokens, yeah.
Well, but this says such as, so we don't need to list
Yeah,
all of
okay,
them.
that's fine. That's fine.
But these are important because I care about X59 certificates and I care about WIPs. Like personally. And JOTs unfortunately we'll have to bring in because life. Okay. So this is done by enabling the tester to move to remote attestation to obtain and utilize a credential that any existing relying on an existing or any existing, I don't know, rats and relying party can interoperate with. Now, this almost seems like it's a duplicate statement. Like would
Yeah, it's not bad to have duplication early on, but you're right. We're losing nothing if we remove it. If you mean this is done by sentence, then yeah.
Okay, we can get rid of it, I suppose. I
Yes.
just want to see how it reads. So we're saying the adoption barriers are eliminated because these parties use whatever. And now we need to say that the important part is the attester. The attester needs to be able to obtain the same credential it did before, but now using remote attestation. This is what actually needs to be said. I mean, I can think about how to word it later. We don't need to waste time on it right now. We're kind of half past the hour already. And then this sentence also appears to be repeating the previous paragraph. So like the whole section needs to flow together. Because here it already talks about credential broker, key broker. Here it talks about key store, credential authority. I would basically say in this world, the attester uses remote attestation to obtain from the RATS relying party the the key token or credential that the wrap requires. That's probably best. How's that? Yes, no?
Sorry, I was a bit
Reads
distracted.
okay to me.
Yeah.
How does this paragraph now read?
Yeah, so this word, the attester, basically creates evidence. Attestation results are somehow maybe omitted because collapsed roles. You get a RETS relying party to take on another classic role, like this thing that gives you the key, the token, or credential.
They already say
Exactly.
that. It's now
Yeah,
acting
very
as a credential broker, key broker.
Exactly. So it matches upstairs, and that's what we do. Yeah. So it's a different point, different angle on the same phrasing upstairs. Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So again, feel free to later just, maybe take a day, re-review this flow. I think this is complete duplication should be removed. I don't think we need that. That's just too much duplication. All right. So now finally, the document details an architecture by which legacy credential issuance mechanisms are replaced with identical credentials issued, but with an additional prerequisite of successful remote attestation of the workloads in question. And I think together it really covers all the angles on it. All right, so here's the other thing that I did here. So I make it explicit here that the relying party can employ either the passport or background check model. This wasn't clear before, Hank, and Mike Richardson picked up on that. Right, so we're now saying, but the top part of the diagram below, I also added that for clarity, is intentionally illustrated as matching the RFC 9334 RATS architecture, because no architectural changes are required to RATS itself, only to what is the ultimate relying party in the remote attestation exchange. Again, feel free to critique, but this is what I'm basically trying to say. Everything here, like the top 80% of the diagram, is exactly the same. There is still evidence sent to the verifier, there are still endorsements and reference value providers and all this other stuff, and the relying party owner, and the RATS relying party, right? The only thing is the bottom part. And I also added the credential key broker function to the RATS relying party. That's what I added.
Yeah. Yeah, this is also possible. We could have like sandwich boxes that are double box layered boxes, but that's a detail. Marked relying party, that's the RATS relying party, right?
So the relying party owner and the RATS relying party, this is all from 9334. Yes.
You know, I highlighted something in the text before you note, and I don't
Oh,
really
the
like
relying
notes.
party can employ the RATS relying party. Yes, that is
Exactly.
the
We
RATS.
have to be very clear here. I think that's super important.
Okay.
Yes.
I added RATS, so this is now RATS relying party.
Yeah.
The RATS relying party can employ either a passport or background check model. This is an important clarification so people understand that we're just really not changing RATS. Maybe I should put ultimate in quotes. I don't know.
Isn't the word eventual the eventual relying party?
Well, eventual is not the penultimate, or it's not the ultimate. It's not the final. Eventual means we'll get to it.
No, well, I think there's two meanings to eventual, but
Or the final.
maybe use final. It's the most straightforward.
We have defined RAP. So why are we not using it? For some dramatic storytelling, or which is not a joke. You can do that, but consistency also is like. Is this a RAP? You're talking about RAP, right?
Yes,
and,
I am.
So maybe just use that then.
Only that.
Let's a little bit an anticlimactic to have that solution, and ultimate
I see.
sounds.
Okay, so
Final.
maybe we can say only. All right, so we're saying there is because no architectural changes are required to RATS itself, and then we can say only that the RATS unaware relying party becomes the final relying party. So something like that. Only that the RATS unaware relying party becomes the final relying party in the remote attestation exchange.
Is it really the remote attestation exchange anymore? Because you get a certificate.
It's after the relying party remote attestation exchange. Yeah.
Following the remote attestation exchange. Something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's reread it and make changes as necessary. Okay, and now going back up the paragraph here. So in order for an attester to interoperate with the RAP, the RATS relying party requires the mechanisms for returning to the attester either. And maybe there is another mechanism that we can mention. So put a pin in that comment. But either you return to the attester an asymmetric signing key encrypted to an attester held asymmetric key encryption key. So this is from our TWI profile for, right? This is from our this is from this document. Right. So again, Simon, you'll review it because you were not part of these conversations we've had over the last few months. But we have our swim lane diagrams and a detailed threat model, and all of that is in here, so you can see what that means. But ultimately, what we're saying is, an attester attests an asymmetric key encryption key, and then the relying party encrypts something to that key, and that's what it gives. And otherwise, the attester has a signing key, and the relying party acts as a credential authority and issues to the attester a full credential. And so this is a key that is returned. Sorry, yeah. So this is here a key is returned. Here a credential is returned, but in case of a bearer token, it's probably here. Like it's actually, this is what I'm saying. It's a third mechanism. The third mechanism would that we would be returning to the attester a bearer token. So I would basically copy this. So bear with me for a second. I would say a bearer token. And I do not know if it needs to be encrypted, because if it's over TLS, okay,
So-
this is probably broken, but we need to basically say three mechanisms exist. One is simple. Number three is simple. The RATS relying party is a credential authority. Attester has an asymmetric credential signing key, effectively issues a CSR by means of remote attestation, and the credential authority returns a new credential. So it means like an X509 certificate. That's simple. The other two may require better explanation.
In one, didn't we say that it doesn't have to be? It could be a symmetric key that then decrypts the pre-provisioned credential and
Well,
sign
that's
key?
exactly what this is. Exactly what it is, right? So you basically,
Well, except that it's not a
it's not
asymmetric
exactly
signing
the
key.
same. What we did in the TWI profile document. So what we did in this document is indeed the tester holds a wrapped key, but it could be a key ID. See, like the wrapping itself is not super interesting here.
Right.
It's so I don't know how many different like mechanisms do we specify.
All I was going to say is that in number one, you may just say it's a key. You don't need to specify if it's an asymmetric signing key or it is the principal mechanism is that we pass a key to the attester so that it can do
A cryptographic key.
Yeah, it's a key encrypted to an attester held asymmetric
A
encryption.
cryptographic key encrypted to an attester held asymmetric key.
Right.
Key encryption key.
And then when you have, in the relying party, you want to specify RAT's relying party again, per Hank's comment before.
Yep.
And you have another, yeah. Then you have a third one.
Okay. So how do you like this? And again, Simon, this will incorporate our beloved bearer tokens under number 2. And this, by the way, does not need to be encrypted to an attester held asymmetric encryption key, actually, because this can be just a bearer token returned over a secure channel, ultimately. What do you think? Should we mandate that it's still encrypted in transit? I mean, I would feel more comfortable that we actually, targeted just a trust execution environment and not just hand them out. Because yeah, then that opens, if you don't encrypt it, it opens you up to relay attacks.
Agreed. I think Hank is busy in the other
Yeah.
in the other meeting, but I'm sure he agrees with you.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, this is a hard day. You changed things.
So we would need the review of these three options. Okay, in the first option, the attester holds it just receives back a cryptographic key. We're not saying whether it's symmetric or asymmetric. It could be a shared key, but it's a key that is returned to the attester. And in the second case, we're returning bearer token. We encrypt the bearer token again so that only the attester can read it, because relay attacks, like we just discussed. And the third one is the RATS relying party is a credential authority, so it actually mints a new credential.
Could the
Maybe I should even
platform?
say a newly minted credential because it's a new key.
Yeah, the third one is something that is very CSR attestation.
Very
That's
much
good.
so. Very much so. Yes.
Okay, the bearer token probably can't be avoided.
And by the way,
Sure.
Simon, when
That's
you read the TWI requirements, we specifically scope bearer tokens out. So this is not TWI. This is us trying to get rats to do something in the IETF. This is
Okay.
right. So that's the difference between sort of the different approaches we're taking. Okay, so we're okay with the wording here now. Any other mechanisms worth mentioning? I'll keep that comment in place. There is a number 4. Okay. And there is still a to-do about credential bootstrapping. So if I'm returning a key here, number 1, to unlock the use of a credential, we should probably mention the fact that that credential needs to be pre-provisioned. And that could be under, in a subsequent section. So I added key credential or key broker. I do not have like room here in the box for credential authority. I do not know. Like we can move more stuff into this diagram necessary if as needed. All right, this is really all we have right now. If you go back to what Michael Richardson's authored, he has a section on details of protocol, which is TBD, which may in fact remain TBD for, if it's our first draft submission to IETF, because if IETF moves forward with it, then we can define all of that. I do not know. But I would like you to, maybe not today, but in the next week, review the rest of what Michael wrote and see how much more of it should be set to IETF and what other nuggets we can pull. And also, Simon, for the document you authored, right? How much of that can also, benefit this write-up?
Sure. Okay, I'll look at that.
Right. Okay, so we're with 10 minutes left. Is there anything else substantial we can do today? Okay, I thought we cleared up quite a bit. Need to a bit more spacing here.
Yeah, so as obviously I'm happy with not more for today. I'm sorry, and we can and it's a good proposal. I mean, this is the start. 1, 2, 3 have to be fleshed out, so there's actually a target with this 0, which is great. 3 is actually pretty straightforward, and the other ones, I mean, one of them is EST, obviously, and so yeah, Oh, and there Michael comes. Huh.
Hi, Michael.
I was about to
Hi.
say the next step is to
Sure.
walk Michael through it. Yeah.
All right, so Michael,
I couldn't attend earlier. Yeah,
let me give
I
you
have a
a
meeting
sort of a
at the top of the. I have a meeting
TLDR over the last hour. So we
Fantastic.
we would like, and now I'm going to speak for the group, but I'm really speaking for myself. For ease of commenting, we would like to author and review content in Google Docs still. Just it's the GitHub makes it very, very difficult to
Sure,
make
whatever.
active commenting and changing. However, once we're done, we're going to move it back over into GitHub. Another small changes. Hank seems to be gone after the 23rd of June. I'm gone starting the 25th. So we have effectively 3 more meetings after today where all of us are present. And somebody needs to basically, certainly not me and perhaps not Hank, to move it into GitHub and push it over the line and submit it to IETF. And we also need to request meeting time in Vienna from, maybe sooner rather than later before the slots fill up. I'm going to be in Vienna now. I just booked my travel, so I'm confirmed. So the other thing I wanted to mention is I took some of your content, Michael, from this write-up that you have on GitHub and pulled it in here. So please take a look. And the other person on the call today, Simon Gallagher. So Simon works at Microsoft and at the CCC TAC, and he is writing the identity bridge blueprint document for the TAC, which is TWI by another name, as far as I'm concerned. But we need to reconcile our efforts there. So we have a really good group of people here with all the right skills. So we made a bunch of changes today. And what I would encourage you to do is review what we have, see what else can be pulled into the Google Doc from the content that you authored. Please keep change tracking on so we know what you've changed. And hopefully next week we'll have more content to flesh out. We need to decide when to stop. Like, do we actually define some mechanisms and try to propose a standard? I don't know. Maybe for the first version of the draft, it's not necessary. We can pick it up in 4 months in San Francisco. I'm open to suggestions there. But what we need to get to something that IETF can read and get us on the schedule.
So I actually think it's better to propose a stand. I think you have to invoke Cunningham's law, if you know what that is. Pick A, B, C, D as a standard, and then wait for people to disagree with you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And if you're too airy-fairy, too uncommitted, then there's nothing for them to actually disagree with, and then they don't like so. But it also means that they have to then think, wait, are these the right engineering trade-offs, or not, or they just don't like the taste of something, right?
Okay.
And that's okay because you can encourage that. But I'm saying if you say, oh, and then we're going to pick a blah, 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 like, okay, well, when you do that, I'll have something to say.
Gotcha.
And so
okay,
that's just putting it down the road. Anyway, I have a meeting. I partly couldn't make it because I had to prepare for another meeting, which is in 5 minutes.
Yeah. So would you mind proposing then some text around the standard for so please review what we have.
I have a tab open with Google Doc, but I don't know where that tab is. So when I find the tab later today, I will dig into that.
Okay, sounds good. If you have trouble finding it, shoot me an email.
No, I just it's just buried. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank
tab
you
groups.
all.
Tab groups are wonderful, but they just let me bury things deeper.
That sounds good. So I'll see you all next Tuesday, and then please continue working on the document offline in the meantime, and keep change tracking on.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.